Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found, was blind, but now I see. It was grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved.
That song has a very significant personal meaning to me, in that my brother Jack, I recorded an album called Precious Memories and dedicated the album to him. My brother Jack was killed in an accident in 1944. I lived in Dyess, Arkansas, D-Y-E-S-S. It was one of President Roosevelt's New Deal farms. The 14,000 acres was cut up into 20-acre tracts, each with a house and a barn and a mule. I think probably during that time, why that song dug so deep within my soul was that my mother and I and my sisters sang that song in the cotton fields after my brother died, as we worked.
Here's what a man named David Allen Coe, just a friend, he signs himself, ex-convict, says on the jacket of Johnny Cash Sings Precious Memories. It's been said Johnny Cash, has never been in prison, but I find myself looking at him as if he's done more time than I have. Each man has his own prisons. Perhaps his prisons weren't the same as mine, but I know his prisons have left their mark on him as surely as the 20 years I spent left more marks on me than the tattoos that cover my body. We all do have our prisons, don't we?
Yeah, we do. We can get ourselves into a little prison of, drugs, alcohol, a relationship, or a habit, or a situation, that we weave ourselves into that can be like a prison with bars that you can't break out of.
Amazing grace, how sweet.
You ever think back to that first time you sang at the Huntsville prison back in '57?
Oh, yeah, I sure do. That was my first prison concert at Huntsville.
I once was lost, but now I'm found.
For that 3 minutes that song is going on, everybody's free. And it just frees the spirit, it frees the person.
I've been locked up half my life. I've seen and done just about anything you can imagine. I came in here for that.
How much longer are you going to be here?
Who knows, That's irrelevant right now anyway. I'm dealing with day to day. I don't worry about next week or next year.
What are you in here for?
Murder, drugs, armed robbery, burglary of a house at night. And then, I was a real idiot out there. Once it started, just one thing after another. I ended up in a lockup, solitary over there. And I was thinking, boy, you idiot. You thought you were so smart, all these years, man, you've been playing it so clever, and then, look where you're at now. You're never gonna get out of here. You're never gonna get out of here. And almost immediately, the words to Amazing Grace became real to me. I couldn't hardly sing that song and get through, 4 verses of it without choking up. I could get through about the second verse, and I'd start kind of locking up, and a lot of times all I could do is just be humming and crying because, it's a real song even now to me.
It has to be taken in an overall view, but probably the most favorite lines to me that means something to me now are the second verse where it's talking about the grace caused you to fear. And at first you think that doesn't make sense, but when you come in here and you start taking a look, you do fear, man. I mean, you get so afraid, that you're not going to get your life in order in time. It's a fear that is hard to put into words. of being alone, of being locked in when you're used to being free.
And in those circumstances, Amazing Grace is no way out. It's not going to unlock those bars.
No, but that's your only chance in here. This is it. The only way out is up.
You know, some people are going to find it difficult to believe that hardened men like you really would be affected by a song like this. And they're going to be very skeptical. They're going to say, well, it's just it's kind of religious spasm. It's just kind of that it's nothing but piety, nothing but sentiment.
You know, Bill, we have had an opportunity and a chance to face our transgressions. We have a lot of time to think about it, and we have been reconciled. We have a peace in our heart.
What are you in here for?
I'm here for a solicitation of capital murder, trying to arrange for having my wife killed.
When did you first understand the meaning of Amazing Grace?
That was in November of 1987 when I got here. You know, this is why I can speak, because I was one of these church crowds who never realized, the true meaning of Amazing Grace.
You didn't experience it.
I was hiding behind it. I was very involved in the church. I was a deacon in the Baptist church. I sang in the choir. I taught Bible study. So
you tried to have your wife killed?
And I tried to have my wife killed, okay?
So what's your favorite verse?
Through many trials and toils and snares, His grace has been the third verse.
Those words in themselves hold a story for a generation of people if they'll just listen.
The sound that saved the wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found. Was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear, the hour I first believed.
As a songwriter, you know what I think about that song? As a songwriter, objectively, there is a song with no guile.
When we've been there,
Those lyrics are straight ahead, honest, gut level, and heart level.
bright shining as the sun. We've no less days to sing God's praise than when we first begun.
When I sing that song, I could be in a dungeon or I'd have chains all over me, but I'd be free as a breeze. It's a song that makes a difference. There are some songs that make a difference in your life, and that song makes a difference.